Western Texas and songs of El Paso. I fell in love with. Oh, sorry. Tall, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. This is Tall, who is the orchestrator of our in-house deconstructed project. We have. What have you deconstructed? And do this for me. Yeah, there you go.
Kind of deconstructed very briefly hinting at the evolution of music and how every era and genre builds on those that came before it.
Okay.
And also kind of tying that into a musical Rube Goldberg machine.
Okay, so you have a little bit of etymology of music, and we have examples. I've always wanted to do something like this. I've always imagined this show that could take you like in an hour from going back to classical music all the way to now somehow.
Well, way before classical music.
Yes, because we just had Kwe, who's from Cameroon, and is actually talking of how the original language for humanity in academic circles is considered to be the drum and the rhythm as the root.
Well, even before that, the first instrument was the voice.
The voice singing around a fire, probably. And that would be the original form of communication. And is that why, do you think that music is such an emotional thing to some degree? Because we've been doing it for so long?
I think that's part of it. I think biologically somehow we're wired for it. I don't think we understand it yet, how that works, but I think it's pretty clear that it's a real thing.
Something deeper
There's
than
something there, yeah.
Just a little bit deeper than Taylor Swift. Just a little more, maybe.
Well, depending on how old you are.
That's just true. So, what Jason came to you and said, hey, I have this idea. We want to do this like global wave idea, this kind of Rube Goldberg around the world. Let's do a prototype in-house and make something. And then what is your history, actually? What's your background?
I'm a piano player and a composer and arranger.
And you've been doing that for most of your life?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
35 years.
35 years as a composer and arranger. And you can I've seen you can play pretty much any song that anybody threw up in front of you.
Well,
for the most, within reason.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But then as a composer, what type of things have you composed in the past? What's the favorite
everything
things?
From musical theater to film to commercials and corporate promos and
the whole gamut.
Original, funk, jazz, whatever.
So was this a nice, fun project to work on that didn't have too many rules? Did it have enough constraints?
This is, for me, it's fun. Just an opportunity to stretch,
experiment,
creatively.
Awesome.
And have a space to bring a bunch of friends who happen to be really great musicians together.
I'm so excited to see. We have a whole room full of talent that's coming via you. You've talked them into coming to this crazy thing called the Deconstruction. No?
No.
Hey, we're going to do this thing and try this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it is because it's a bent. Was there a little bit of excitement because it's this
because we get to do
experiment?
something. Well, because musicians hustle to make a living.
Sure.
And there's not often time to make music just for fun.
That's always a challenge, right?
For fun, ironically, because that's why you got into it in the first place. But
most people got into music probably for fun
and to get girls.
Yeah, if you're lucky. It sometimes works for a moment, right?
Yeah. So this was kind of a rare opportunity for good musicians to just get involved in a project last minute, no preparation, essentially.
A little bit of a concept and some open run.
And some talking.
How did you guys decide did you kind of compose out the idea of like what genre you're going to go for this era to get to this point? Or?
Mostly it was a combination of brainstorming with Jason and some of the musicians and just, the idea for me was to try and kind of started what would be considered kind of the origins of music, singing and chanting and drumming, and then take it through the different eras, European classical music, and kind of getting an iconic piece of music from each one of those eras. Something
that would resonate, obviously.
Yeah, something that everyone would know.
Pay attention to, as opposed to some abstract thing. Right. Now, we have, so walk me through what's going to happen here. In the simplest ways. We're going to do a chain reaction.
We're going to be presenting 4 eras/styles, kind of an African drumming chanting segment, a Beethoven Ode to Joy, a classical soloist.
I love your story about that, by the way.
Yeah. There's a lot of good Beethoven stories.
Yeah, there is.
And then a gospel choir doing Amazing Grace.
Okay.
And then a rock band doing Let It Be.
Okay.
And then at the end, there's a mashup of all of them happening together.
Everything smushed together.
And hopefully that'll sound good.
Well, we're in a pretty cool place, though, yeah?
We're in a great
it's a
place.
great venue to do
Great
it in.
space.
This is the Omnicore Collective's ballroom, which is the place where Metallica became famous. I just learned this weekend. Actually, this was the heavy metal headbangers ball in the 80s, where Metallica became Metallica over a course of many years. And Guar sprayed blood all over. So this venue is Crescent for sure.
Wow.
And it totally approves of your message.
Of the experimentation.
I know that we got to do a little switch around here for everything to get happening. So is there anything that we have from Tall that we were going to screen? Or are we just going to be able to go into a quick break and then... That sounds great. Tall, I thank you so much for playing Deconstruction with us and bringing a whole cast of characters and a bunch of musicians to do this dance here. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be our finale. This is our little ode to Deconstruction. This is our in-house project that we've built out. And then, are we sending this signal somewhere? We're actually so. DB Wildcats is going to take this signal, basically. We're going to do 4 odes of music, 4 references of styles of music, starting from Africa, going to classical, coming to gospel, and into Beatles, and then a mashup for the modern-day version. And then after that, there's going to be a signal that sends out over to San Ramon, because this is an example of trying to do this on a global scale in the future. And AJ, what else you got to say?
Stick around. This is going to be awesome.
He won't lie.